Well, people wanted me to show this on stream. Let's see if we can make it show up. Oh. Yeah, I think you can see it now. You can read it. It says, Zero the Ziguana, Zig mascot. Something you can love, 24. So, Zero has a badge. Good job, Zero. Okay. So, welcome to the second to last talk. Our speaker is Motiejus. I already forgot your surname. How do you pronounce it?
Jakštys.
Jakštys.
Yes.
Man, this is so hard. So, could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Motiejus Jakštys. I'm on the fourth time here. Well, technically like the Milan party meetup, and then this third cycle, and this is my third time speaking, so I feel I get a lot of attention, and I really like you folks. So good to be here again.
Please give it up.
Oh, one more thing.
Wait.
One more, because Michael was speaking about food. So I spent a couple of years in the UK, and there's one thing I remember and I miss. So I'd like to take mine. Like Michael liked cheddar, and I like the British breakfast, and I really miss it here because you would get your breakfast at around 9, and the second meal would be at around 7 p.m. That was really efficient. Okay, that's it.
Awesome. So, please give it up.
Oh, I go?
Yeah, but first, move your microphone slightly so that it doesn't touch your beard.
Okay.
If you can. You can bend it outwards. Yeah,
that's good.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's Okay, cool. This is visible, right?
Yep.
Blue background, very bright blue, not here, not so much. Okay, so I introduced myself here. Welcome again. This is going to be my first non-technical talk in Sickle, which I was looking forward a lot. About me. Okay, so who attended my cartography presentation in 2022 in the first Milan meetup by show of hands? Right, a couple. Good to see. So that presentation was the first 3 minutes were cartography, and that was like an introduction into today. Took 2 years. And now a bit about me. I introduced Zig to Uber over those years. That's why I was mostly on stage. I did masters in cartography a few years ago, so I'm a cartographer amongst non-cartographers because I don't do it seriously. But if I meet cartographers, I'm a software engineer. Currently, I'm in Chronosphere doing metrics, time series database. That's very briefly about me. And this is me. I liked travel. I still do. I did that a lot. This is me in 2010 or 2009 with my currently wife in Sweden. So we were hitchhiking throughout Sweden, and we used to stay wherever. So this time, this was a parking lot. This is our tent, and a local reporter came over, took an interview, and we ended up in a local newspaper. And she sent it over a few weeks later, which is nice. So that's me from a long time ago. Agenda about me. We just talked. I'll do some demos of Yellow Pages, what that was, what that is, what that maybe will be. We'll switch to real maps on contemporary supercomputers in our pockets, and then we'll actually fix the map in OpenStreetMap. So who of you did download OSM and the map? Oh, this is so nice. This is way more than I was expecting, so you'll have things to do. Right. So preparation, you did the preparation, so we can skip this. Okay, so most of you have it. So you download Milan, you download Lombardy, you saw the map. Right, so I have this, for the introduction, what's the difference between Yellow Page and the map? I left myself a note to make a picture of the maps, of the pile of maps that I have at home, but of course I forgot the picture. And then Loris, as soon as I came, he saved me. So he gave me those. And these are example, I should probably be in the camera. These are example maps with half advertisements, half maps, but like, if you're traveling and if you like this stuff, you probably have a pile as well. And there are like 4, which I'll bring home. Thank you, Loris. So imagine like a pile of maps, but like bigger and like more diverse maps. So this is kind of the theme, what we're going to talk about. What's the difference between a map and a Yellow Page and Yellow Pages? So for those who are like my age and older, you may remember that there used to be phone books where you were able to find anyone in your city by last name and maybe address, depending on the country, and their phone number. So that used to be white book with very thin pages and very small font. And there would be a much thinner piece of the book with yellow pages, and these had business listings. So businesses could buy space there and then get like, quarter of a page or half of the page if they wanted to pay more, or just get a very small line if they didn't want to. So basically, all of the business listings were in that single book that used to be issued every couple of years. And then, so that's where the origin yellow pages came from. It may have been from the US, but I'm not sure. But it used to be like thick books. People stopped reading books so that the format got smaller. And now we can still find yellow page examples for free wherever. So this is an example of a map of Nicosia. So I took this when I landed in Cyprus. This is not yellow pages. This is a proper map that you can get for free. As you can see, there are no ads at all. Like, it's a proper map. And the other side of the map is zoomed in like city center, and there is no business information, which may be good or bad depending on what you're looking for. I have plenty of those. There are quite a few that you can take for free. You can get them and you can use them. It was really useful. That was the main means of navigation, because it's much bigger than a cell phone. Like, if you unpack it, it's like this rather than like 6 inches. This is the map of Stockholm. Identical thing. I got it in the train station. This was from the same trip that you saw with me in the tent. This is like 2010. So the space here for the map compared to the space for everything else is, substantially different. And this is the other side. So the map is slightly bigger here, but still, you see, it's kind of dominated by the businesses who paid to be here. So the variety is huge. There are maps that there are this size, that are road maps that are useful for planning longer trips. There are tourist booklets like this, and everything in between. So this is about paper. And now let's switch to this year and my very brief experience, my personal test on trying to find eggs Benedict. Like, where I started in a new company last year, in the very, very center of Vilnius, and I needed breakfast quite often. I wanted breakfast, so I was looking for where do I get eggs Benedict? I like eggs Benedict. So I took two mapping applications, and I looked for eggs Benedict. So on the left, you can see Google Maps looking for eggs Benedict, and on the right, you see OSM looking for eggs Benedict. As you can see on the left, with Google, there are quite a few matches within a few 100-meter radius. The interesting ones are, so keep in mind, you're looking for eggs Benedict. The egg on top was overcooked. Terrible eggs Benedict. Recommend if you're sick of eggs Benedict. Good coffee, bad scrambled eggs. So these are the ones in yellow. So it's the ones in red are actually very useful, and I visited most of them. Some of it is true, some of it is not. But Google sources whatever I was looking for from the comments about the business. On the right-hand side, OpenStreetMaps does not have information. Eggs Benedict is not a place. So by definition of the map, of what you're supposed to see, you're not going to find it. If you're looking for a restaurant, that's a different story. Basically, no matches on the right, quite a few matches on the left, even though the business may not advertise it. Okay, the next example is looking for a water fountain. I used to do pretty long running trainings, 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers, and one of the bigger problems was getting water. I don't want to carry water, but after 8 to 10 kilometers, I really need to drink. So I used to plan my trip around like water fountains. So I know that after 8 to 10 kilometers, there will be a fountain, and every couple of kilometers, there will be one again. And if there won't be, then I get some cash to buy it somewhere in a kiosk. So if I take those two maps, but now not Vilnius, but actually where we are, and we look for water fountains, we see quite a different story. So Google says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 water fountains in this area, where we're now exactly here, like in the center of the map. And with OpenStreetMaps, that's much, much more. So Water Fountain is a place that's supposed to be on the map. There is no, it appears more often on OpenStreetMaps, and you will maybe figure out why. So the second example is not finding a business, but finding a useful location. It used to be a similar story with children playgrounds, for example. Same thing you would generally see. So we had a gentle intro of Yellow Pages and maps and the intersection of them, and why Google and OpenStreetMaps are like two big examples and two very different examples. So how are they mostly different? I will compare them to encyclopedias. So there are two kinds of encyclopedias. One kind is where you ask for permission to change something, and the other one is when you ask for forgiveness after you change something. The first is the one that I grew up with. This is like 12 books of the World Encyclopedia, but if there's an error or if it needs to be updated, it's the publisher who does it. Like I can't do anything on my own. I may report it to the publisher, they may get it fixed, but I cannot fix it myself. Wikipedia, we all know. Wikipedia is generally more successful. It has been over the last 2 decades or so. So Wikipedia, we're all familiar with Wikipedia. It's pretty much exactly the same with maps. There are two kinds of maps. The ones that you can ask for permission to change, like Google, TomTom, or whatever major map providers are. And the other one, when you change it, and then it's okay, or someone reverts your change. But basically, after the change, your change is already live, which is asking for forgiveness, which I did multiple times. I got my things reverted, and we'll talk about that. But it's exactly the same two kinds of maps. Wikipedia and everything else, OpenStreetMaps and everything else. And it works the same way. Now, why would I want to change a map, or why would I want to change an encyclopedia? If I navigate and I make a mistake, it could be because I just made a mistake. I did the wrong turn, I missed the turn, or it may have been an error on the map. So this happened, both happened to me. Just making a mistake with a real map probably more often than not, but there have been errors in the maps that I have experienced. And there are if you look on the internet, the ultimate knowledge source, there will be many, many examples where people make mistakes because of an incorrect map, which is fine. I mean, mistakes are everywhere, bugs are everywhere. The question is, what can we do about them? So these stories are good because because people survive them and can report them. It can be funny. It was not funny for her, but then she survived it, and then she can make some change. There are other more funny stories, or not, depending on how you see the world. There's a persistent, like in this example, there's a persistent problem at Google Maps, and the person cannot do anything about it for years. Also, that physical signs when nothing else works. Same here. And it's not specific about Google, it's about the ability to change versus inability to change. So these are real world. My brother has a dark story, pretty bad, also with an incorrect map, but thankfully he's fine. He was fine and he's fine. So now let's get to the fun part of actually editing the map. So I this morning and last morning, I was walking around and looking at the map and looking for a good example of what can we edit now, like where we are now. And there was one thing I found, okay, there's something missing, and there was another thing, and then I just couldn't stop. Like I started seeing all those missing benches, or like missing stairs, or like bad building shapes, and I just realized I have to stop. So we will take one example here, two examples actually. One will be done by Mr. Johnny Marler, and I'll do the other one with other kinds of software, and I'll have a bunch of photos. I prepared a handful of changes, and I have a couple of more suggestions here, and then we can go outside and knock ourselves out for if you want to when you actually want to upload a change. But what we're going to do here, because so we will please we will now open the phone, Johnny's phone, and please follow along. But Johnny will be the one submitting the change, because we cannot submit the same change 40 times. But the process will be exactly the same for a different kind of object. After all the talks, I'll be outside if somebody wants help or something, or idea suggestions, so we can play around and actually submit changes. Okay, so Johnny, can you let's see if I got. Oh, sorry. One more thing. So since it's demo time, I need to prepare the demo mode. Right. Okay. So here we go. We connect the phone. So please take out your phones. Open OSM and okay. So go, Johnny, go. So we have the map. You should see everyone has. Okay, who sees this in front of them? Okay, so. Okay, so leave it there. So I'll show the photo of where the map is wrong, and we'll fix it now. Right. So I was walking. So this is, if you can recognize, this is the entrance. This is the main entrance. If you leave the metro and you enter this building, this is you're looking outside of the entrance. There's a bench. You can see there's a bench right there, and it's not on the map. So OpenStreetMaps has benches and has water fountains and has, if people are into that, light stoves and those things. So let's add this bench. So I was standing here at the place where this bench is supposed. I was standing at the bench, at the place of the bench, and made the screenshot. So let's add it exactly there. Right. So here we are. So here, this is also what's annoying. This is the first floor, and you see the tiles. And what's not tiled is minus first floor, like the negative floor. If you remember, there are 2 floors outside, and it's missing a stair. We can add stairs later. But let's just do the bench now. So can you click on where the bench is supposed to be? Yeah, no, on your phone, and click and hold. Yeah, so a bit more. It has to be a bit up. Okay, let me click. Okay, so then click on actions. Okay, you're following? We're fine. Should we? Okay, actions. Then oh shit, I forgot. We need to enable the OpenStreetMaps plugin. So back, back. Yes, and then click on settings. On the bottom left, there are 3 lines with settings. Then plugins, and scroll down to OpenStreetMaps plugin. Here, OpenStreetMaps editing. So yeah, just turn it on. So who has? Okay, let's give it 5 seconds. Can you go back and then show it again, from the landing page? This 3 on the top right. Setting plugins, scroll down, OpenStreetMaps editing. So has anyone not enabled the editing? You're fine. Who has enabled editing? Cool, everyone. Nice. So let's get back at the bench. Okay. Then actions. Create point of interest. Does everyone see create point of interest? Create POI? Okay. Nice. So then the type, so click on this. No, just click. And then enter bench. Here, bench. So we can, yeah, add click advanced. We'll okay, no, just not advanced yet. I remember the keyword. Save. Okay, so does everyone see the bench on their map? Yeah. A few benches. Okay. Then I guess upload, Johnny. Yep, add bench. All right, so Johnny has uploaded the bench. For you to upload any change, you will need to create an OpenStreetMaps.org account and log in from the phone. So we did this with Johnny yesterday. I think you used your Google account. It's simple enough, and yeah, that's the process. I will. Okay, so thanks. I'll continue with the Java thing.
Wait a second, guys. Sorry.
Oh.
Can you attach the phone again? Sorry for hijacking, but I wanted to ask you if you could show something because I want to bring this up later in the Q&A.
Okay.
Can you zoom out? I want to show everybody. Your changed orientation. That's messing. Okay, I found it. So check this out. There's an elevator.
Did you edit?
No, but I didn't know it was there, and we'll come back to that later.
Thank you, Johnny. Right, so let's continue. If you have a problem with this, let's talk about the talk, because there's still quite a few things that I want to show. Getting back. So we added the bench. Congratulations to us. It's simple, but everything starts simple. The app on the phone is quite limited because you cannot, for instance, change the lines or add polygons. So let's do something a bit more complex with the desktop software. So I will use a program that is designed for editing OpenStreetMaps, and we will fix some abominations. So I already pre-selected the area in Milan that I want to download, so I'll download it. And here we have the same thing, the same map, but in vectors. It's not a map. This is technically a map is rendered from this. So this is the vector data. What OpenStreetMaps consist of is are points. You see the point lines which connect the points, and polygons. And each of those things, that's basically the representation of the map. And each of those things can have tags. So free-form key-value pairs. So these are, I clicked some cafe, and these, you can see the key-value pairs that define that this is a cafe. So the data model for OpenStreetMaps is just that. Points, lines, polygons, and arbitrary key-value pairs. The key-value pairs is a convention. It's not in the protocol. It doesn't say that amenity there's nothing in the protocol that says amenity equals bench. It's a thing that exists on the wiki and kind of came up by the community, and the most popular and the most reasonable one. So I'll get, for instance, entrance. This place, this building does not have entrances on the map. We will add one entrance. So how do I know how to select the entrance? Well, OpenStreetMap wiki entrance. So this is basically how I'm not routing, yeah. I find these keys here, entrance, and then this is the key and this is the value. So if it's just an entrance, then it's a yes. If it's a main entrance, then it's main. Right, so let's, okay, so this is the vector map. This is how it looks rendered. If you open OpenStreetMaps.org, this is the result of what we just saw from the vectors. And let's hide this for now. Okay, is Johnny's bench already live? Where did you put Johnny? Your orientation got me messed up. Where was the bench? Somewhere here, right? Oh, look! Okay, so there are a few serious problems here, right? You see, what is this? This is a sidewalk. Maybe this will make it easier. This is a sidewalk, and this is a sidewalk, and this is a building, right? This is like no, and I made like another right. So I went outside. I made this photo and I screenshotted the map on how it's supposed to look like. So as you can see, it is a straight building, like on both left and right, and the actual corner is somewhere here. So we can fix it. Like this is a straight building, as we saw in the photo, because we could see the whole distance. And it's like somewhere here. Roughly. Okay, upload. Who wants to upload now? Okay, and then because I know that by now that there's so much I can fix, but it's really tempting. Well, let's just try to be a bit slower. What I found after I made all those photos is that very recently satellite photos were uploaded. And you can just open your satellite photos and get your corners straight. Right? Okay. And with this, I am quite comfortable. This is the entrance. Okay, I'll add another entrance. Like I'll add at least one entrance to the building, which is I didn't take the it's not in the slides, but I have a couple of pictures with Johnny as well on the entrance. So this is the entrance. Here's the pathway to the entrance. So let's just add the entrance. Entrance, yes. The tag. Like I added this entrance tag because that's not the main entrance. The main entrance is from outside, from, on the other side of the building. Okay. This is falling out, but that's okay. Okay, so now I'll upload the change. Okay, there's a warning. Shop inside shop. Okay, so I made a shop inside shop, or there was an error before. Okay, I don't think I changed location of the shop. Okay, I think we can... No, I'm not comfortable. Like, if there's a warning, I shouldn't like make a live edit on stage. Like, I should be actually careful. So I'm not going to upload it now. I'll upload it afterwards when, there are people behind me, not in front of me. Okay, so that's how it looks like in the actual backend. What did we have next? Okay, so zooming back, we're not map makers here, although I hope there will be at least some map editors. But what's the point of this lecture? One point is if we use OpenStreetMaps or derived applications, we can change stuff. If we see errors, we can change them. I think it is powerful. And why would we use OpenStreetMaps versus TomTom or Google Maps? Well, there are different reasons, so we'll discuss the reasons. If you want to find the business, if you want to buy something, of course, the best one is like Google Maps because it has all the business listings, and the businesses are incentivized to put them there because everyone uses them. So if you want to buy something, use Google Maps. If you're hiking, in my experience, mostly in a couple of countries, OpenStreetMaps gives more. There's more because there are more enthusiasts adding all those routes that corporations don't care about. Google or TomTom don't sell that. They care about car navigation. They care much less about navigation in a very remote park. Urban car navigation, also big FooCorp, right? The FooCorp, because they do have traffic. They're aware of the traffic situation. They can suggest going around traffic jams. Outdoors car navigation, same as hiking. OpenStreetMaps, they have the roads. Not only there are more of them, but they're better tagged often. Like if the road breaks down or if it's upgraded, that will be usually reflected quicker on the map because someone in the area will just upgrade it. Bicycles, same story. Bicycle navigation works in like I don't think in Vilnius I can even look at bicycle navigation by Google Maps. It's just not an option. Foot, like public transport, car or foot, but I can turn on the bicycle there, and it also has like better route information and better connection information. Which map, which map is better for what also comes from the incentives of the company. Like we heard in the very beginning, like in the very first presentation today, the company serve the users and they decide what kind of niche they want to serve. Google helps find people businesses. They show businesses. It's really good at finding businesses. OpenStreetMaps there are nerd cartographers who want to be really precise, and you will, as a result, you will have really precise maps, and you can contribute to it. So when you open a map, like think of who has better interest to help you find what you want to open, and then make your judgment. Of course, test, see what's better, and you'll learn. So I personally use both a lot. Is there something else I wanted to add? Yeah, many, but I guess we'll switch to questions now.
Thank you very much, Motiejus. Yes, please join me on the armchairs. Great talk.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy that I got so many people to try this out. This is great.
It's very nice to see, some passion about something that for once is in software. I mean, I also am passionate about software, but like something like cartography, you being angry at the lines not lined up, that was fun. Nice. So before we start with questions, I nagged you about the elevator stuff. So I knew that Google Maps didn't show that stuff. But I didn't know that there were other maps that did show that stuff. So yesterday morning, early in the morning, we were coming here with the cart. I have a tiny cart full of like equipment, and I was looking for an elevator. I didn't know that it was there. I could have assumed because metro stations here tend to have elevators, but I didn't know it was there. And so I lost like about 15 minutes dragging the thing up a green slope thing on the side. In hindsight, that would have been nice to know that. Yeah. Anyway, please.
I'd like to add to that.
Yeah,
one more thing that I wanted to mention, like how I suggest, like now that you will know how to make edits to the map, the first thing that I did when I was shown pretty much the same, very similar presentation, I fixed the area around my house. Like what specifically? So put entrances to the buildings. I live in an apartment, like in an apartment block where there are multiple apartments and multiple entrances to the building. So I put like all the entrances to the building and I put the apartment numbers next to the entrances. So why? Because there are delivery people who are coming and who need to pick like between 3 entrances to the building, and they can look at the map and just enter the right one. Add that sort of stuff. So the area around, like about 500 meters radius around my house is pretty good now. So if half of you did the same, we would be already in a better place. So yeah, that's my pitch.
Nice.
Okay, questions now.
Let's have questions.
Yeah. Any recommendations for software on Linux for viewing OpenStreetMaps?
Yeah, there's a project in this weird programming language, but I forgot both the name of the project and the language. So, what? I actually, well, it's of course it's written in Zik, but I don't remember the project name. I tend to use the phone, but if this is actually a secret question and you know the name, so who can say?
Next question.
Okay.
Hi. Thanks for the nice talk. I read somewhere that in printed maps, there sometimes are things like trap streets, which are fake streets that cartographers put in there, or the map owners, for copyright, so that they can see if this was copied. Is this a real thing? And do you know if Google or others who have copyrights on the maps also do that in digital maps?
I don't know about... I wouldn't be surprised. My father worked in... Okay, maybe... In publishing industry, that's very common and like normal, for instance, with dictionaries. And it makes it very easy to sue. But I would not be surprised. I haven't seen examples myself, but I would not be surprised. Google Street Maps license requires just attribution. So there is no incentive for companies really to hold off the data. Oh, about downstreams. I didn't talk about downstreams. So there's this OpenStreetMaps.org, which basically only OpenStreetMaps editors use. But you can get those vectors in some packed format and then render your own maps. And most of, like OSM and obvious example, Apple Maps uses that as the main source. And pretty much all of the hiking apps or outdoor maps or search and rescue maps use OpenStreetMaps as a primary source. They render the map differently. They add elevation data, but that's the source of truth. So there's attribution, like if you contribute something, it's not only the OSM users that will benefit, but everything else, every other downstream. And it's okay, and it's very common to use it commercially. That's why I think this is like a very good upstream that makes sense to contribute it.
Hi.
Hi.
Is there any particular reason why Google and other companies do not use OpenStreetMap data and make their own or use their own? Is there any licensing reason, or they just use their own data? Thank you.
I mean, if you're thirsty, you should go get a...
No, I'm thinking about other kind of... I mean, this is opinions only. And I usually keep opinions for dinner. So I can't give you a legal answer and like not an answer I would be happy with. It depends on the company a lot. A lot of companies like Lyft, Uber, Bolt, the ride-sharing companies use it a lot for navigation because it's really cheap to implement. You just download the data. It has all the traffic signs. It has the where you can like turn, restrictions and directions, one-way traffic information. It's all there. And they're contributing a lot. But Google is a different world. Like, I don't know why they don't contribute. I don't know. I can't tell you. But I don't know. But there are many companies like Amazon Couriers, UPS, do download, use it, and contribute.
Motiejus, would you say that it could be possible that maybe they just don't want to have their support centers not be overrun with complaints about things that are coming maybe from OpenStreetMap, for example?
Maybe they just feel like relinquished control. Maybe, but again, I'm not part of that. I don't really know.
Next questions.
So how does OpenStreetMap avoid spam and abuse in general?
Just like Wikipedia. I have some anecdotes. It's exactly like Wikipedia. So there's one anecdote that I really want to share. So I was looking for, in Vilnius, in the outskirts of Vilnius, I was looking for a restaurant or a coffee or something, and the only thing that was open was McDonald's, like right in front of me. And it's not on the map. Like why is it not on the map? Because it was recently built. Okay, so I got home, I added it to the map. In the map, there was a building site still. So instead of the building site, I just, changed the key value pairs to a McDonald's. I didn't update the geometry because I couldn't update the geometry because the photograph was not yet updated. So I didn't know what size the building is. And I just, submitted. I didn't really think much about it. And like a few days later, a guy called Thomas Straupis messaged me, like, is this McDonald's this size? No, that was the building site. So somebody is watching you. So I came up with like a random shape, like a square. I put it like, I deleted that previous building site. I put a reasonably sized building there, and I promised that I can, I said I cannot do a concrete one because we don't have the photo. Okay, and he said, yeah, this is good. Like you don't know it, but this is not like a huge supermarket or something. So this is how it works. There's someone watching. Sooner or later, it will be reverted if you do abuse.
Hey, so Wikipedia has their criteria. I think it's notability, where if you are super into some incredibly niche thing and put loads of information on Wikipedia about it, they will delete it because they don't think it's relevant. I'm super into trees, and I would love to go onto OpenStreetMap and just put in all the awesome trees in my area. And is that the kind of thing where they're like, no one cares about trees, and we're going to delete all your trees? Or can you just put like very niche things like most people don't care about trees, but I do.
So it's legit. Like if you take an orienteering map, which is a very, very small scale, you have individual trees there.
Yeah.
And you can render orienteering trees. You just apply a style, render orienteering map. So this is I would welcome that a lot. If you come to the forest and then label every individual tree, that would be interesting, but I'm not sure you would do it. But if it's urban and if it's a tree every few meters by the road, it's beautiful. Yeah, go for it.
Yes, I have a question about the picture, like the real life picture you showed. Like, where do they come from, and can people upload theirs with a drone or something?
So where did they? So this is this particular one was from Mapbox, which is a mapping company, and they publish those for you. They allow OpenStreetMap's editors to use it. So it varies by country. And if you photograph the world with your drone, or at least a country, and then allow it to be used, you can submit a pull request to add it as a source, and you will have a source. So I did the same 2 years ago in the presentation. I did the same for the village of my summer house. Like I made with the drone, I made the whole thing. It's like 2 square kilometers, and I added it as an overlay on this thing. Without a pull request, because that's too of a small area, but this is how I added it, and I edited the map. If I were to do it at larger scale, it may make sense just to publish it to the country-specific source, and then it figures out okay, I'm in these coordinates, I can give you an option to look at this.
Oh, cool, thank you.
Okay, one last question.
There.
So I don't actually use OSMN much, but I'm a pretty heavy organic maps user. I was wondering, I had a question, which was, it has 3D models for buildings in certain places. And I was wondering if that's actually part of OpenStreetMaps itself, or is there some overlay, or because I thought that data would be pretty difficult to get.
So there's So buildings, like I said, key value information, right? So buildings have number of floors. So those, when you see the 3D model with natural maps, I think natural maps is a descendant from Maps with Me. Yeah, so that they use the same data source. So it's just a tag on how many floors does it have and the kind of roof it has. So there's a gamified version where it will prompt. Well, you can download an application and it will prompt you with questions. How many, exactly those questions. What kind of a roof does this thing have, and how many floors does this thing have? And they crowdsource this information, then can build a 3D model. But this is in OSM.
Okay, I think we're done then. Please give it up for Motiejus.
Wow.
Okay, let's take a 10-minute break. Then please all come back here for the final talk of the day.